Once upon a time, while I was reading Nintendo Power, I happened across a cool-looking game with a name that I couldn't pronounce. It had amazing graphics for its time. The setting was just neat. I played that game. I enjoyed that game. I replayed it now and then. I always remembered it fondly. That game, of course, is Faxanadu. Apparently, the name is a portmanteau of Famicom, the Japanese name of the NES console, and Xanadu, taken from the name of the game before it. What, you say? Faxanadu is a sequel? Well, technically it's a Gaiden game, a side story for its predecessor. But it's part of the Dragon Slayer series, and that means it's related to... But that's a topic for another day.
Now, when I played the game again for this review, I found a lot to like. I mean, the look, the music, the atmosphere, all that stuff is great. And heck, for its time, Faxanadu has a pretty involved storyline, so solid A for effort. Then, fortunately, I also found some stuff that made me want to kick puppies.
Story-wise, Faxanadu is the wondrous tale of some nameless dude in his quest to save the elves of the world tree. The water supply has dried up. Monsters are menacing the populace. And apparently, no one thinks it's a big deal when something that looks like this is hanging out in your yard. As that nameless dude, you must sally forth and adventure through exotic lands and dangerous dungeons in search of, well, stuff and answers. One of Faxanadu's best-selling points is the immersive quality of its setting. There's something really cool about it that's hard to put into words, this sense of being there within a gothic fairy tale. This is especially true in the Mist World, an area that to this day kinda gives me the creeps. Strange monsters, eerie music that's just a little out of tune, the mist that crawls over everything, partly obscuring your vision. Then you wander into a building, a friendly-looking place. There's something uniquely unsettling about hearing the shop music play as some hostile creature tries to chase you down. In contrast, there's my favorite stage, the Branch World. Sure, it still has monsters and such, but its warmer color palette and the almost carefree theme song give it a much different feel. The interesting part is that it comes right after the Mist World. It's almost like the game wants to give you a breather before the dramatic showdown with the evil one in the evil place. No, I'm not making that up. But seriously, I could hang out here for ages just listening to the music. In any case, this is one of those games where wandering is half the fun. Don't rush through, just enjoy the ride. Even with the game's linear nature, there's sure to be some place on your path that catches your sense of wonder. Thankfully, and surprisingly considering when it came out, the helpful villagers are actually helpful. I'm pleased to report that for the most part, the clues they provide make sense, unlike in some games I could mention. Also, for those who like such things, namely yours truly, Faxanadu also offers up some nifty nightmare fuel in the form of some of its monsters. Running into certain things is a bit shocking the first time, and that's exactly why I won't ruin it for you by showing them right now.
Really, this is for your own good. Because if you're one of the unfortunate souls who isn't familiar with this game, I think it would be a travesty.
Unfortunately, this otherwise great game does have certain flaws. Let's start with the obvious, those ridiculous passwords. If and when it's released on the Wii, not having to deal with those will be a welcome change. But look at this mess. If you miscopy even one letter, and eventually you will, the whole thing is useless and your work's gone down the drain. But considering when the game was released, that's probably nitpicking, so I'm willing to let it slide. What I can't let slide, however, is the fact that you can't duck. This guarantees that certain projectiles will hit you in the face or in the feet, and killing a knee-high enemy means you'll have to waste some magic. Seriously, folks, this is just bad programming. And where have I seen it before? Dear God, it's worse than I thought. There are also two specific blunders that would never be tolerated in an RPG today. First of all, you see this here? This is my inventory. It includes a key that I can't use, and there's no way to drop it. If you can't use or sell an item and don't want to do some serious backtracking, you're stuck with it for life. Can't sell? Yeah, that's another issue. You see, if the shop doesn't sell it, they won't buy it either! And with some items, namely weapons and armor, even if they do sell it, they won't take it back! Ugh, I swear this game's customer service is even worse than Walmart's. Then there's this garbage. What in the heck were they thinking? No matter what you do, you're going to get hit at least once. Finally, I mentioned and liked the creepiness factor of this game. But there's a certain instance where it overplays its hand. This guy here, the first time you meet him, he sends shivers down your spine. I mean, look at him, he's gruesome. And maybe it happens a second time too. But by the third or fourth or fifth or whatever is a pretty good word to sum up how you're feeling. Even the game gives up after a while and no longer plays the boss theme when you see him. Poor fella, used and cast aside, he just gets no respect.
Hey, can you get me a soda or something? Thanks. Nonetheless, the world of Faxanadu is a great place to visit as long as you're prepared for shortcomings. Heck, it's even got a pretty satisfying ending for an old 8-bit game. Therefore, I highly recommend that if you've got some time to spare, you should give this classic a try. Now, where in the heck is my soda? Hello? Yeah? Okay, so you're at the store. What do you mean, not enough gold?